everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony. And we are here, having survived the stay in a haunted hotel, to podcast once more.
We did it. Oh my god.
We did it.
Just about.
Would you, having had some time since it happened now, would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely. Mainly because nothing actually really happened. You know, if we did get haunted, then I would have been like, no.
Never again.
God, no. But no, it was okay. It was scary at first. Like when we got there and I was on my own, I was like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. But
yeah.
But then it was all right.
It is sort of amazing how much your brain can do. Like making dreams. But like I swear a lot of the time if I have been scared, it's like pretty much 100% my own doing.
Yeah.
It won't be anything to do with obviously there are times when you think like, oh god, is this man following me or something like that, but a lot of the time it's just it's just myself being like, did I hear something? No. What if there's a ghost? No. What if
but what if there is though? No, there's not. Yeah, that's the thing. Like as soon as I got into the room there, like my brain was just like, nope, frozen in fear, sit on the floor please. And it wasn't anything happening, it was just me, like panic time.
I get that with like any time Alex is away. Like when I lived alone, I was fine. But I think having lived with someone, you notice like the absence of that person makes it freaky.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like if ever I'm in the house when, like say if we've dropped the bunnies off somewhere and then I get home and the bunnies aren't there, I find it really unsettling.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, I think it's just that imbalance is just like, oh no, I don't like this. Because I'm really I'm so unindependent when Alex is away. I'm just like, there are times when I just wouldn't really sleep when he was away for a week because I was like, was that a noise? Was that someone breaking in? Was that this person? I literally gave Kim, who lives down the road from me, I gave her a spare key because I was like, if anything happens to me, you need to come in and find me.
Oh dear, Bryony.
I'm so easily scared. I am literally like a human bunny.
You kind of are,
Just
yeah.
Embodiment. But since the haunted hotel, how have your dreams been?
They've kind of just escaped me, really. Like,
oh, no.
I'm back to not really having them very much.
The ghost scared them off.
Yeah, they've been scared away. I went through a little phase, I think, probably just after we recorded episode 100, where I was having quite vivid dreams, like every night. But they've kind of just sort of tapered off now. I'm not sure why. I think maybe it's like the same as usual where I'm getting a little bit tired and a little bit burnt out, and then it's like no dreams, only sleep. And but yeah, like I had a little one last night, but it was about work. So maybe that speaks volumes. but yeah, I've just not really been having very many. Not at all.
I've been having the exact opposite. I've been having so many really vivid, really waking up feeling like I was actually there.
Really?
So maybe us sharing a bed, I leached all of the dreams out of your brain.
Maybe you did. Maybe you did. Well, not only that as well, but since we recorded episode 100, and this is going to be like a world record, like the fastest I could mention it, but we finished our Pathfinder campaign. And I put it this way, we didn't get the good ending. It was very traumatic. It did not go well. And I spent 2 days crying. And since then, every now and then, I'll just be like, I think I'm going to cry again. Just because, in a good way, not in a good way, but in a good way, in that I was so invested, It wasn't just like, oh, you all die, the end. Like there was still a little bit of, it was more like, oh, you all die, but this is what happens next. So it was, I mean, I didn't die. I was one of the few that didn't. But it was just like, oh my God, like what now? And since then, like, not so much at the moment, but like after that happened, my brain was very much just thinking about that, like to the point where I had to say to my community, like, guys, I can't stream today. Like I just cannot. I'm non-functional. I've been laying on the sofa.
I'm mourning.
I'm literally in mourning.
I'm in a period of mourning.
The day after, like the Monday after, my chat knows that I can't often stream on Mondays after Pathfinder because I'm too busy just thinking about it. But this particular Monday, I was like, guys, I cannot stream today because I spent all night crying until 6 a.m. I woke up, I sat on the sofa and I cried some more. And
oh my God.
And then I think at some point I did do a stream, and because I'd been crying so much, I was really dizzy. I was like, guys, we're just going to watch videos of dogs today. My chat's like patting me on the head like, it'll be okay. But yeah, like since then, I've not really been dreaming very much. And they might not be related, but I think oftentimes the things I think about to go to bed are Pathfinder things. So I don't know. Maybe it's like a combination of both, where it's just like just falling out of my head and there's no dreams to be had. My brain's too busy thinking about the trauma.
Yeah. See, I've never really like experienced this because I've pretty much only ever done one shots.
Yeah.
I've never had like a big campaign. And even in a one shot, I can get quite attached.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my gosh, I can appreciate you being absolutely destroyed.
Arguably too attached. Arithian will be listening to this, so he can agree. But I do get very much attached. And in this particular campaign, like I got even more attached because me and Rithian like crafted my backstory characters, and they were like the found family best friends, and it was a trio, so it was like us three, and it's like and then they died.
Yeah.
So it was just extra trauma.
If you're the one that survives, you just then get the survivor guilt.
Exactly.
So it's like,
that was one of the things I said, like when it was like, well, what do you do now? And I was like, well, I'm racked with survivor's guilt and I'm just going to go into hiding and just suffer.
Oh, gee.
But then like all of the things that come from that, like I think are really fun. Like me and Rithian talked a lot about, what they would do next, and like there's an option to save, like, some of the characters that had died and stuff. So I was like, right, well, my character would do this and they'd go here and they'd try and rescue this person and bring this one back and blah, blah, blah. So, it's always fun. But then that part of me is always like, I just want to act this out. I want to role play this out. And it's like, I can't because it's finished. So there's no closure. And I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll have to get Rithian on for a recording and then trick him into
we'll just
about it so you can have the.
Can we just have a roleplay episode? Let's just play Pathfinder, dude.
See, I would really love to do like a big campaign, but it's finding that like I think because like the people who I know that do it, like Rithian, etc. I think you tend to go quite late, and we tend to go till about
10 o'clock now. We changed it so we start earlier so we can end early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. I just remember there was a time when Alex was doing like a Star Wars campaign with a couple of our friends, and it was just going like so late, and I was like, I have to go to bed now. He's like, we're still going.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but no, we did used to go like technically till 11, but sometimes it would overrun. But yeah, we've nudged it forward or back a little bit, so it's a little bit earlier now. So maybe you could join for a little baby session, maybe.
Oh, I could be a little baby,
you be a little baby.
But yeah, it's like, I'm so envious of like high rollers and stuff, like having that weekly slot of, I think it's one of those things. Do you ever feel when, like, because obviously you don't stream Pathfinder, but do you ever feel that sort of like, if there's a game you want to play, but you don't put time aside for it, part of you is like, maybe I'll stream it because then I have the excuse to put time aside for it. Or maybe not even a game, maybe something like, I don't know, even there are times when I've been tempted to do streams of like clearing out the spare room because then I'm like, I'd actually get it done.
Yeah, because I've done streams like that. Like I've put up the Christmas tree on a stream and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And like I have literally a whole separate channel for when I want to play like Final Fantasy, and I'm like, I may as well stream it, but I don't want to do it on my main channel.
It can be so difficult finding that line between what do I keep for myself, what is work, what it like, because obviously it's such a, so like when you work and play at your computer, it's difficult to have that like boundary. It's like I was thinking the other day, I'm tempted to go back and play Hollow Knight again, which was the first game that I ever streamed. And I was tempted to play it again. And there's that thought of like, should I stream it? And then I was like, no, I want it for me this time.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I play really badly when I stream games.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because your concentration is torn in so many different... It's like when there have been things with Mass Effect where I've made a decision and then everyone's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, because it was the right thing to do. And they're like, they literally said this. And I'm like, did they? I must have just happened to look across at chat at that point and I didn't hear it. So when you're playing stuff on your own in your own time and you actually have that, basically what I'm saying is I'm such a good gamer, it's just you'll never see it because
people act surprised in like, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. It's a rare occurrence, but sometimes in like recordings and stuff, people are like, oh my God, Kirsty did such a good thing here. And I'm like, sometimes I'm good at games, just not on stream.
Yeah.
But only sometimes.
I think it's difficult to appreciate just how torn your attention is.
Yeah, it's streaming. People don't get it. Like, it's so hard to split your attention.
Yeah, like from a viewer point of view, you are just watching them play a game. So you're just like, well, you're just playing it. What else is there? But there is like the technical upkeep. There's like thinking about talking. There's, you know, reading other stuff. You know, there is just a lot.
Yeah, and then you're like,
I'm not saying it's the hardest job in the world, but
have I got enough people watching me? Is my bitrate okay? Like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you've got all this information in front of you and you kind of just darting your eyes between all of them.
Yeah.
And then you fall off a ledge and people are like, you're bad at games. Oh.
I am, but that's neither here nor there.
It's beside the point.
Would you like to hear my dream?
Yeah.
So there is another bit to this dream that I didn't mention in the recording, but I have previously mentioned in our chat. So I will repeat that again once we've played this because it did make me chuckle when I woke up. But yeah, this is one of the deep, I think I vaguely remember what this dream was about, but yeah, just all of my dreams recently have been very like, I wake up and I feel like I'm still there or I'm tired because I've done so much dreaming. Okay. So yeah, this is one of those. Here we go. Okie dokie. 3, 2, 1, go.
I had this dream that I went to see this like comedy show, but it was inside a youth detention center. And I remember it was the Australian guy from The Last Leg. And I think Alex Horn was meant to be there, but he hadn't turned up yet. And I was there with my parents, but I was sat on my own on a little armchair to the side in the hallway for some reason. And then all of a sudden, this alarm went off, and they were saying like, oh, it's because some of the inmates have taken unkindly to like having an audience in their center, and they're planning to like attack or kill like one of the people. We just have to lock everything down. So we all moved to like the back of this place, and I could see like just staring in the window were all these like hooded or like hoodied figures. And then there was like these big floor to ceiling windows that they were set outside, but the security guard hadn't locked them yet. So people were trying to like hold them shut, but they were coming in. And just as they started calling people back to their seats, like 3 of these teenagers like burst in, and the security guard was like, "Oi, no, stop it, stop it." But he wasn't really doing anything about it. And then all of a sudden there was like this, I went and sat back at my seat, and this detective who is played by, oh my gosh, what's his name? It's a Scottish actor. I saw him in Frasier recently. I'll have to look up his name. But he was leading like 3 of these guys out. But all of a sudden, one of them turned around and like jumped onto my chair and was clinging onto me. And the detective was like, "I'm so sorry. We're just like, I don't want to anger him. Just let him do this." And throughout the comedy show, this guy like turned from like an actual guy like holding my leg to, at one point, he just became a box of grapes. And I was just talking to this box of grapes, but they're really tiny and like lots of different colors. They were almost like little bath balls. And I was just talking to him, and he was saying like, "Oh, you know, would you come back here and see me?" and all of this stuff. And I was like, and the detective was like behind him, sort of like nodding, just like, you know, just say stuff, just keep him happy. And then I left. That's about all I remember. I think maybe Alex Horn eventually turned up at some point. I remember hearing his voice, but I don't know if he was there. But yeah, very strange. The end. Oh, bye.
That was me not being able to, basically, because my phone wasn't recognizing my fingerprint, so I couldn't stop the recording. I was just like, anyway.
Bye.
So yeah, one thing I will say is that even though at the beginning I said like it started off as being like a youth detention center, but all of the people at the windows were very much like fully grown men.
Right.
Like, it was big looming figures. So I don't know why it was a youth thing, because they were not the youth. They were scary. But yeah, I couldn't make out like any faces when the people were at the windows. They were all just these like hooded figures with like shadowed faces, and they were just like breaking through the window, and it was really scary.
Oh my God.
And there were like some civilians just trying to like hold the windows back so that they couldn't push their way through. But the bit I didn't mention that did make me giggle is when I remember being sat in the armchair. So the design of the place, it was basically like a big, not a man, well, I guess maybe like a manor house, but you went into this massive room and it had like a big staircase in the middle. And then the stage was at the front, just at the bottom of the stairs. And my armchair was like just to the left of the stairs, just peeking round. And it was only me sat there. Everyone else was sat on the other side.
Oh, is you on your own?
Yeah.
With the box of grapes, man.
With the little box of grapes criminal. But when the 3 criminals got led out by me, I remember genuinely thinking in the dream, I hope none of these are my type, because Rithian will tell me off if they are. I was like, Rithian will judge me. So
if any of these crims are my type.
Better not fancy any of the criminals.
we did actually tell him that in DMs, and he did confirm he would tell you off. So
Yeah.
I've looked up stage in the book. You weren't on the stage where you were just in your chair.
Yeah, I was just in my little armchair watching. Oh, the guy who played the detective,
Detective.
He was John Hannah. I have since looked him up.
Oh.
But I think that was, like I said, I watched him in an episode of Frasier recently, so I think that's why he was there.
Dream is a theatre in which the dreamer is himself in the scene, the player, the prompter, the producer, the author, the public, and the critic. In other words, the dreams are themselves like the theatre in which your problems, hopes, and fears are acted out by characters generated by your imagination. The dream of the theatre is therefore like a dream within a dream. If you dream of watching or acting a play, pantomime or circus, consider what aspects of your personality each character represents.
The Australian part. Because it was, what is his name? He's on the last leg.
I have no idea. I'm so bad with names.
Adam Hills. That's him.
Oh.
My parents watched Last Leg. So if I ever, like when I'm ever at home, I usually see him. And they'll always ask me, like, oh, did you watch Last Egg? And I'm like, no. But other than that, I've not really seen him in anything. What does it say if you look up, like, prison or criminals?
Prison. Prison can stand for a set of beliefs that limit the dreamer's personal development. The dream may help us escape this limitation by forcing us to confront them and examine what triggered them. If you find yourself bundled into a prison? No.
No.
If you have dreams about prisons or being jailed?
I was just there for the comedy night.
Was it so the place itself was a prison?
Yeah, it was like a detention centre.
Oh yeah, it was a detention centre.
But they had like let people in, I guess, as a fundraising thing. They had put on a comedy night and put all of the inmates out into the yard whilst we sat inside and watched comedy.
It's basically saying about being like suffocated by things in your life, like but that's like being imprisoned, and you weren't imprisoned, you were there just for a nice time, so I don't think that's very relevant.
Oh my gosh, I looked up what does it mean to see a hooded figure in a dream, and it says the faceless cloaked figure can symbolize a confrontation with your shadow self, the repressed hidden aspects of your personality that your conscious mind may fear acknowledging. So my criminal side, apparently.
I love that because I'm going to talk about Pathfinder again. In our campaign, my character had a vision about like an execution, and originally my character was in the audience, like watching people that she knew or loved, and they were like there being executed essentially. And then this timey-wimey shit happened, and we went basically to a different timeline. And I said to Rydian, like, oh, is the vision different? Is it the same? And he basically sent me like a rewritten version, and it was more or less the same, except my character was now on the platform with the others, and they were looking out, and they saw a shadowy, like hooded figure in the audience. And for the longest time, I'm like, who is that? Rydian? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that hooded? Who's that? Who's that? For weeks. And then finally, like this vision of the future came true. And in the lead up to it, my character wasn't captured, so they weren't a part of this execution. They instead were in the audience. So when it came to the other characters who had been captured looking out into the audience and seeing a shadowy hooded figure, it was me. It was me all along.
God.
So like the hooded shadowy figure being yourself. That just made me think of Pathfinder. But yeah, that was cool. And then I was like, oh my God, after all these weeks, I'm like, it's me.
I've also found a thing that says it can symbolize a sense of disconnection from oneself or others, as well as a lack of control or direction in life. So that I can connect with. I don't particularly know if it was me, because I feel like it was more to do with it being criminals than it being about, like, it's not like I was in a room and there was just a shadowy figure sat there sort of thing that could be me. But I do sort of connect with that in a way, because I have felt quite disconnected recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been doing that thing a lot where I think about, okay, I'll preface this with, I know that I do love my friends.
Right.
But there are times when if I'm on my own, I'll think about it and I'll be like, they don't really like me. I feel no strong connection to anyone. I'm on my own. And like that's just how like I don't know what it is, like disassociating or something. Like that's just how it will be. But as soon as I talk to people, I'm just like, no, of course I really like you. Like, you're my friend. What the heck? But there are times when I will be like, I'm just not gonna ever message them again. And
I get that.
I'm done now. And so I do wonder if it's something to do with that. Maybe I've just been feeling that a lot recently.
Yeah.
And maybe that is just me being like, maybe you're the criminals.
Maybe I'm the criminal.
Trying to break through the window. Just message me.
Let me in. Yeah, no, I feel that. I've definitely been a bit like that recently as well. It's weird. Like you go through like sort of phases, don't you? Where sometimes it's like everyone hates me and I don't want to message them in case I'm bothering them. And then other times it's like I don't want to talk to anyone and you see a message pop up and it's like I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah.
And it's just it's strange. Brains are weird.
Well, it's like I was talking to Alex the other day because I like looked at Instagram or something and I sighed and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, it's just that all these people are out at this thing. And he was like, well, did you want to go to it? And I was like, no, but I want them to ask me and then me to have a reason not to go. Like, I want to be wanted, but I don't want to go.
Right. That makes sense.
But I want them to want me there. It's so stupid, but I also just want to stay home in my pajamas.
Oh dear.
The thing that I had forgotten about the stream was the fact that he turned into grapes.
Yeah.
Or possibly Orbeez.
Oh my god,
that
true.
video
It might have been
about
Orbeez.
Orbeez recently.
It did.
If anyone hasn't seen it, just search YouTube for like French man's life ruined by Orbeez or something like that. It's like 9 minutes long and it's a wild ride.
It's an experience. It's great.
So I wonder if it was just those Orbeez getting into my head. But I don't understand how like the guy clinging to me was like a wild ride of I feel like this is almost something that's just too deep and complicated a thing to go into on the podcast. But this is like can of worms territory. But I remember having all these mixed feelings where I was like, I'm being like touched by someone and I don't want them to touch me. This is a stranger. I don't like this. But I was also having these feelings of like, oh my gosh, I didn't prepare for this. I should have like shaved my legs before coming out. I should be more presentable. And all of these like conflicting things that when I woke up, I was just like, geez, that's too real. Having this like, because I guess there is that certain level of like, I don't know, I guess not to get too deep, but I guess growing up in a patriarchy and you do have that sort of thing of like, you know, it's a complicated issue of how presentable, you know, quote unquote, presentable am I making myself for me? And how much is it for other people and how much is it for society's view of how I should be?
I did kind of get that vibe as well when, you know, the police officer is saying like, oh, just, you know, just humor him, just let him do what he wants. Like, and it's like, oh, too real.
Yeah, because there are times where like I remember like going back to like teenage years where there were times when like you would have like unwanted attention or like physical contact and it would be that thing of like, okay, I can either stop it, but that scares me because I don't know the reaction I get, or I'll just let it happen because in a way then I'm just taking the brunt of it and I just, you know, that's easier for me to process right now. So I'll just let this happen and I'll deal with it in therapy in 20 years instead. Like,
absolutely.
It's There were elements of that. And I do wonder if maybe, given the timing of this dream, because of stuff we talked about the other day with like bad experiences I had at university, I wonder if that is what brought it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Just having this like, because university students are criminals, but just having, that like unwanted interactions and people looming and
Yeah, that
but
could
then
well
he was
be
grapes.
Then he was grapes.
So what does that mean?
Maybe that was you taking control. You just turned him into Orbeez and then we're done with it.
Yeah. Does it say anything about grapes in the book?
Oh, maybe. I forgot I had the book here.
My secret lust for Dionysus. Dionysus scares me.
Right.
He's often thought of as like a fun-loving god, but he did some scary, scary things. I mean, all of the gods aren't particularly
they're all a
bit
dodgy, aren't they, really? Grapes. Fruit. To see fruit in your dream most often points to the nourishing and beneficial effects of using your talents to help others. To see green fruit? No. Ripe red fruit? But yours was kind of multicolored, wasn't it?
Well, it's
like Orbeez.
Yeah, I think it started off as being red grapes, but then he did turn into
I have news for you.
Oh, no.
Ripe red fruit denotes lust and sexuality.
Oh.
To see a fruit basket signifies help given or received.
Oh, it's more of a punnet than a basket. Is punnet in there?
A fruit cocktail? No. To see fruit in your dream may signify a period of growth, abundance, sweet reward, and financial gain. If you dream of fruit that is past its ripeness, it's said to represent missed opportunity.
Oh. How bizarre.
There you go. I don't think Orbeez is in here.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
No. Quite specific.
It's quite specific.
Another thing about the dream that it's obviously become such a common occurrence that I don't even mention it anymore. I was naked the entire time.
Oh, well, there you go. That's new information.
But I think that's just a given for me at this point.
It kind of is, honestly. Yeah, it's just kind of always happening. Oh dear.
I mean, I'd be curious to experiment with, like, because obviously when we shared a bed for last episode, I had to sleep in pajamas because, society or whatever. But I would be curious if, because I didn't really pay attention to it at the time, but I wonder if I slept in pajamas, if I would dream in pajamas.
Maybe. I feel like
I'm just going to start going to bed in different outfits and see if I
like as
just
your
like
ideal self. So you're just like butt naked every time.
Yeah. Is that a thing about like dress for the job you want? I'm going to start dressing for the dreams I want.
Oh my gosh. But maybe you might not dream if you go to bed wearing pajamas because it will be like uncomfortable.
Restrictive. Yeah. But I have been thinking about like, are there any dream experiments or like sleep experiments that we could do? Like, I think there's a lot of potential with like food, that sort of stuff. But I wonder if like environment could be another thing. Because I've been trying to think of like places we could visit for more fun time, gals being pals type videos. And it reminded me of, I don't know how we would make this work, but when I was reading up about, there's like particular stories in mythology where I think people used to go and sleep in temples because they would be like closer to be connected to with the gods via dreams. Like they thought the gods would know to reach them in their dreams if they were sleeping in their temples. So you get times where like Bellerophon, he goes and sleeps in a temple, and then he gets taught how to, like in his dream, he gets told how to go and tame Pegasus and stuff like that. So I was thinking, like, is there a place we could go to, like maybe a god would contact us, a deity, but are there like specific locations that we could go and sleep in that are maybe meant to influence dreams at all?
I wonder if there's anything like that. I mean,
let's go to Delphi.
Beyond like, I don't know, like scientific places, I don't know what kind of places would influence dreams. Like, can you think of any?
Like a sleep clinic or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like sciencey places, like clinics or places where they're going to monitor your dreams and stuff.
Yeah. I would be curious to go to a place like that, but I feel like I wouldn't sleep very well in a place like that.
Oh, I would. I can sleep anywhere.
I feel like Alex would sleep very well there because he likes white noise. So I think if he was in a place where there was like machine humming and that sort of stuff, he'd probably quite like it. Whereas I would just be like, turn it off. What is that? I'm like the Princess and the Pea, apart from it being a pea, it's any LED lighting.
My mom's like that. My mom's like that. It's I have a there's a light on my my router for the internet that blinks. It's blue and it blinks all the time. So I have to have it facing the floor. Otherwise it's just there like blinking at me all night. It's so annoying.
I remember we went on holiday to Tresco Island down in the Isle of Scilly, and we stayed in this really lovely place, but there was one of those like fire alarms on the ceiling that had an LED in it. And it was the teeny tiniest thing on the highest ceiling. But for me, it was like a lighthouse in the room. And I had to hang the spare towels. I like put them all together and hung them across the beams. And that was the only way I could sleep. Because otherwise I was like trying to sleep with like a t-shirt over my face and all of this stuff.
I remember that. I think my parents might have been away somewhere and I think I went to visit or something like that. And I remember going like, why is there a towel on the ceiling in the corner of the room? And they're like, there's a light up there. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
But then when I was like commuting and stuff between various places, I could just sleep on trains absolutely fine. So
trains are nice though. It's like sleeping in the back of a car.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't do it unless I was like with someone. Otherwise I would just sleep forever.
Yeah.
And I'd miss my stop.
I got really good when I was commuting to uni. I got really good at waking up at
the
my
right
stop.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you like are a kid and your parents are driving home and you go to sleep in the back seat. You always wake up like on the right road, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you just recognize the twists and the turns, and it's like, we're home. So I guess maybe you got used to the tremors.
So cozy about that vibe. I wish, like, I feel like even like as an adult, sleeping in the back of a car isn't quite the same. They should make an experience that is a massive car that makes you feel like a child.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
And you sit in the back and it plays, like, your parents can call in and they can do the voices.
It's playing music, playing Lighthouse Family on the radio. That would be so good. Like, if there are people that, like, you know, struggle to sleep, I think that would be the cure. Just a giant car that you can just lay down on the back seat and go to sleep. Because that's the most comfortable. It's the best.
And you could have it, like, connected to, like, Google Maps, so it knows, like, you set it to, like, destination to your childhood home.
And you recognize all the
drives
turns.
Around. Yeah. Because we had, like, my childhood home was, like, you had to go over a slight, not like a harsh bump or anything, but there'd be a slight, like, going up, and then our drive was at an angle, and it was that bump that I would wake up and I'd be like, I recognize this turn into the drive and going up slightly.
Mine would always be turning right, going down the high street, so there'd be a lot of stopping and starting because all the cars are coming towards you. Then you turn left, then you'd go up a hill, and then you turn left again, and then you turn around and get on the driveway, and that would be the motion that would wake me up.
Yeah.
Probably going up the hill, actually. Our dog at the time as well, he would always recognize it. Like, if he was in the back, like he wasn't the most calm passenger, bless him. He was very whiny, but he was even more whiny when we got near the house. He knew where we were, and he'd always just be like, oh, and it's like, yes, we are home. We'll be out soon.
You just reminded me of something really cute that I found out the other day, because Alex and I were talking about one of our friend's dogs, and Alex was like, do you think she ever thinks about us? And I was like, oh, I don't know, probably not. So I told my friend this, and my friend was like, no, she definitely thinks about you, because when she won't come in from the garden, I will tell her that you two have just arrived. I'll be like, Alex and Brady are here, and she'll run inside.
Oh my God.
I was like, she must hate us, because she's just like, they always say they're going to be here, and
they're not here. Are they leaving? They're just leaving straight away?
All of these fleeting visits that they're always doing, I always miss them. It just made me so happy.
That's so cute. Bless.
The other idea I had is, could we stay could we hide in an IKEA and stay in one overnight?
Oh my God.
But I don't know.
This week on Comfort Zone, we get arrested.
It's content. But I don't know what the purpose would be, because IKEA isn't a temple.
Yeah, it's not particularly dreamy, is it?
And I was wondering if there were like famous places where dreams have happened. Oh, like what if we stayed? Oh, I wonder if you could track it down. Actually, it's probably impossible, and it's probably owned by someone. But for instance, what if like we stayed where Mary Shelley had, because she came up with Frankenstein in a dream. What if we could stay in that place? Maybe we would be inspired to write.
Do we know?
Well, I think it was Byron's house,
Oh.
which is probably not for the likes of us to stay in.
Well, maybe we could do like IKEA and just hide.
But I just wonder if there's a place like that we could, maybe there's a place of historic dream significance.
Where did Mary Shelley dream about Frankenstein?
I'm pretty sure it was like she was staying at Byron's house and they were having like a writing competition or something.
It was in Switzerland.
Oh.
Stayed at a villa with her future husband, Percy Shelley, and Lord Byron. He was there too. They were a throuple.
Lovely.
It was Byron suggested that each of them write a ghost story. That night she dreamed of the plot for A Tale That Haunted My Midnight Pillow, and she wrote the introduction. The book tells the story of Victor Frankenstein. So it was a villa in Switzerland.
Well, that sounds lovely. I say we go off on a jolly.
We could use the Patreon money to...
Yeah. Thank you. Well, we're off to Switzerland. See ya.
And then we'll have some good dreams.
So I was talking to Alex about this recently. So many people on like BBC and Channel 4 are like people you've never heard of, and they get to do a TV show that's just them going off on jollies.
Yeah.
So why not us?
Why not us? Exactly. The amount of people on like Channel 4 that have gone and bought a bloody villa or a chateau, and they're like, I'm going to do it up. And nobody ever watches the show, but they're doing it and they're having a lovely time. And it's like, how do I get in on this?
That could be us.
That could be us.
But not doing anything, Bill, just going for a sleep.
Just go to sleep.
Just having naps in
Arguably,
various
it would be
countries.
easier for us.
Yes.
Unless we bought a haunted chateau and then we slept there. But it would be quite a short-term thing. I don't know what we do with it after.
I swear there is a place near Bristol that is meant to be one of the most haunted places in the country, and you can do overnight stays there.
Uh-huh. Do you know where it is?
It is... I think you can only stay there on certain open days, though, and you do have to stay in like a room full of other people. Apparently the ghost only turns up on Fridays, so... See, most haunted house in the UK. It's saying there's a place called Borley Rectory, but that's not where I was thinking.
Borley Rectory. There's a film called Borley Rectory, about Borley Rectory.
Oh.
It was a house. It's not a house anymore.
The Ancient Ram Inn? Is that the place I'm thinking of? Quite possible.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah. But what other places? See, the problem we've got is that we have devised a podcast purely in the mindscape.
Right.
And how do you go on jollies in your mind?
Yeah, this is the thing.
We need to do a new podcast that's just about
going on holiday.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
We should have done that. Do you want to start again?
Yeah. We got to 101 episodes. We've done good.
We've done good.
It is the Ancient Ram Inn. It says, experience an overnight ghost hunt at the Ancient Ram Inn, the most haunted building in England. The Ancient Ram Inn, in brackets, no longer a pub, is uniquely historic and is the oldest building in Wotton under Edge.
Wotton under Edge. Okay.
It is known as one of the most unique... I swear they've said unique like 3 times.
Unique.
Bloody
most haunted
unique.
in the UK. Unique. What is this
overnight
near?
is...
Oh, I see. It is very close to Bristol.
£55 each. And I think it might have a... Oh, it's got a review. Brilliant night doing a... Oh, it changed. Definitely my favorite haunted location. If you are into the paranormal, it is a must.
It is a must.
So I think you can go there for open days, but you can... Tracy on Google says, seriously spooky place. Got a few readings on our equipment. I don't know what equipment.
When you lived in Hearts, when you were growing up, did you ever have people at school go to Clop Hill in Bedfordshire, Luton?
No.
Clop Hill is a church in Luton, and it's quite haunted. It's famously very haunted, and people would go there at night. Like, it would be like, oh, they're going to Clop Hill tonight. Oh, they're going to go see some ghosts. And it got to the point where so many people would go that it is now like fenced off, and you can't go onto the site at night. It's I don't know if like I don't know the stories of it, but it's apparently one of the most haunted places in Bedfordshire. So, but it's a shame that it's kind of off limits now. It's sort of, I guess it was just all the school children that would turn up. Okay, apparently Cineworld in Bedford is also haunted.
Oh,
Let's go
there you go.
Several witnesses have reported seeing a monk or a hooded figure in the foyer and the toilet.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
I don't want a haunted toilet. Did you ever have that toy growing up? It was the Ghostbusters toilet.
No.
And it would just look like a toilet, and then it had a little wheel on the bottom, and you would push it along. And as you pushed it along, its mouth would open up and the top would flip up, and it would have eyes and a big scary mouth, and it would just be like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh. I vaguely remember it, but I don't think I ever had it. But I think I know what you're talking about.
Were you scared of Ghostbusters as a child?
I never saw it. I think the first time I saw Ghostbusters was probably last year.
Oh.
But I think I would have been. I was scared of the Terminator.
Oh.
Because my big brother had a doll. It was a Terminator doll. It was huge. It was really big, and it would make noises. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, but it was massive. It must have been like a foot tall.
Yeah.
And it had like all like the exposed metal and stuff. And it was just, and it had like glowing red eyes. It was horrifying.
I've sent you the toilet. It was called Fearsome Flush.
So thinking about it, it probably wasn't a foot tall because I was a child. But it was very big. Oh no, 14 inches. 14 inches. That's
oh wow,
massive.
that's over a foot.
Yeah, it's over a foot.
Blimey.
What have you sent me? Let's see.
The toilet.
Oh, the toilet.
I remember.
Oh, I don't recognize this.
When I watched Ghostbusters when I was little, and there's a scene where they open the fridge, and there's like a portal to another world in there. And for like a couple weeks, I would ask other people to open the fridge because I was scared.
Oh.
I was like, I don't know if there's going to be a fridge in there. It could be anything.
I was like that with I think I've said about this before, but in Resident Evil, there's a save room that has a cupboard in it, and if you go close to it, a zombie jumps out of the cupboard, and that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And my mum had a cupboard in her bedroom, and I just refused to go near it because I was like, "There's a zombie in there, dude."
I am going to search for best place to have dreams. UK.
We're really scraping the barrel now. We're struggling.
Oh, it's just saying dreams, beds and mattresses.
Turns out the best place to dream is bed.
Yes. I swear there was a place. Okay, I'm going to look up Museum of Dreams. House of Dreams Museum, London, England. There you go. Bam. Let's go. It opens it on, it's only open on Saturdays. And it looks terrifying. One of the pictures is just a doll in a tree.
What?
So would you like to go there? Because I feel like, Museum of Dreams. It says the House of Dreams is a home for the discarded and unwanted. Well, that's us.
That's us. Yeah, you better
go. It seems to basically be someone's house where they've collected a lot of shit. So you,
it's just like me, just like me for real.
It's just your future.
Future, it's me right now. Just come to my house, Franny.
Just like drawers full of old dentures and glasses.
What?
And there's just bags with people's hair in.
What?
Shall we go?
Yeah, sure. Where is it?
London.
Oh.
That London.
Oh.
Teeth molds and glasses. Collection of glasses from junk markets in Paris. And teeth molds donated to the museum.
What has this got to do with dreams?
I don't know why it's called that. It just is called the House of Dreams.
I think it's just because their dream is to collect trash.
Oh, it does say the museum is dedicated to his dreams, life, and love, and as a monument to his dead partner and deceased parents.
What, who? The person who owns the house?
The person who made it, yeah.
That's nice, but that's just someone's house.
Yeah, and you can only go on Saturdays. So, do you want to visit?
I'm not
it
sure
says
if I
it's
do.
dedicated to his dreams. It doesn't say waking or otherwise, but
the dreams in life.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll put a pin in that.
I would have thought this would be right up your alley.
I like trash as much as the next person, but I like my trash.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's fair dues.
But I should open my flat up every Saturday and charge people entry.
Maybe.
That'd be good.
Well, wasn't there was a guy on he was in London. I can't remember his name, but he made like a fake restaurant and loads of people turned up to it. It was literally like in his garden. And he did this thing where he would just like say that the guest list had really filled up, and he put out some reviews saying like no one can get into this place. Has anyone managed to get in? And it made so many people want to go that they turned up.
Oh my God.
And did like reviews of it and stuff. And it was literally just him like cooking food on a hot plate in his shed or something. Oh, that was it. It was Uber Butler, a Vice journalist, created a fake TripAdvisor account for a non-existent restaurant simply named The Shed at Dulwich.
I think I've heard about The Shed. Now you said the name.
Got an entourage of his friends to post positive TripAdvisor reviews for said venue to help skyrocket The Shed's notoriety in London foodie scene. So there you go.
Oh my God.
And it became like the #1 restaurant on TripAdvisor.
That's so funny.
I mean, we could also keep an eye out for like maybe there might be dream-themed exhibitions at museums and such.
Yeah, definitely. I think if anybody listening like has any ideas too for where they'd like to see us go for IRL,
if anyone's still
things,
listening at
if
this
anybody
point.
is still listening to us rambling, let us know. Let us know in the comments because there might be some like fun little niche places we could visit.
Yeah. Well, shall we stop talking now?
Yes.
We've rambled on. I don't know. I don't quite remember how we got from criminals to Ghostbusters toilet to Uber Butler, but here we are. Well, Kirsty, thank you for a lovely chat.
Thank you, Bryony.
And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you everyone.
If you would like to see some of our adventures and such, we are on YouTube now. We've been posting our vlogs and various things onto YouTube and also on our Patreon, which is Comfort Zone Pod, where you can find updates on what we are up to. And also you can suggest things for us to do. Well, until next time, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.